Good morning, guys. Today we are going to check out two sum problem. It is the most asked question in the top technical interviews of top MNCs. So let's dive into the question. It says that given an array of integer, return indices of the two numbers such that they add up to a specific target. So basically, they are asking for two pair, means a pair which contain two values such that their summation is equals to the targeted value. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution and you may not use the same element twice. Pretty clear, right? So basically what they are asking for, let's take this example. We want a targeted value of 9 and we can clearly see that 2 and 7 will sum up to be 9. So our value will be the index of 2, that is 0, and the index of 7, that is 1. Pretty clear? Cool. So the brute force approach that is coming in our mind is to loop through the whole array from 0 to n and run another loop from I to n and see that whether we are able to find two values who sum up to give us the required value. But the problem here would be that our time complexity will be O of n square, which is not a feasible time complexity. Your interviewer will definitely ask you to improve your time complexity. So let's see what can we do. Definitely our space complexity in this case, in the previous case that we had discussed, will be O of 1. So the second approach that comes in our mind is a hash table approach, right? So to improve our runtime complexity, we need a more efficient way to check if the complement exists in the array. If the complement exists, we need to look up its index. Okay, what is the best way to maintain a mapping of each element in the array to its index? A hash table, right? If we want to maintain any kind of mapping, hash table is the best option, right? So what we will do, in the first iteration we add each element's value and its index to the table. Then in the second iteration we check if each element's complement, that is target minus the value, exists in the table. Okay, so you will understand it better when we start coding, but let me tell you what will be our basic method will be. First we will subtract this 2 from a targeted value 9, so our value will be 7. Then we will search that is our map contain the value 7. So we will check our map, and if it contains 7, then yes, it is possible and we will save its value. Otherwise we will move forward, and if we are not able to find any value, we'll just return an empty vector which we had declared, right? So let's start code and let's see what we can expect, right? I will be coding in C++, so let's see. So before starting anything, we need an order map, right? An ordered map which contain integer to save the integer value inside an array, and one more int to save the indexes, right? And we will name it as n. We will also declare a vector name as result, because we need to return result, right? Always remember, return the thing that is given here. It's a good habit to keep in mind, right? You have to return res. Okay, so let's start code. For we will traverse for all the values in our array, and like int I equal to 0, I is less than nums size I plus plus k, and we will declare a temp variable which will be storing the value, which will be storing the value of target minus nums of I. Okay, now let's check that is in our map, are we able to find the temp value. If we are able to find it out, we will not be going throughout the, we will not be crossing the endpoint of an array of the map, so it will be not equals to the end. Okay, then this is obvious that we actually find the temp in the map, right? So we will just push this value in our result. M of temp, right? M of temp will return the index of the value, and we will also store the I value, that will be the second index, right? That's it, and just return the rest. Otherwise, if we are not able to find a temp value in the map, this means that the value of the value of I is not present there, so we will insert the index of nums of I in our map. And in this case, what will happen, that we will actually we look back to check if current elements complement already exist in the table. So we can clearly see that our time complexity will be O of n. In this case, we traverse the list that contain n elements only once. Okay, and our space complexity will be O of n, because we are using a map, right, which will be equals to the number of elements that are present in our nums vector. So let's run it and see. Sorry, yes, there is an error. Let's run it again. Okay. Okay, cool, no problem. Let's see it again. It's running. Let's submit and see. Yeah, it's running perfectly fine. So this is it. This was my first video, so it might be possible that I was a bit nervous and anxious, but that's totally fine. Meet you in the next video. Bye.